Saint Dominic was born in Spain in 1170. His parents were members of the Spanish nobility and related to the ruling family. His father was Feli Guzman and was the royal warden of the village. His mother, Blessed Joan of Aza, was a holy woman in her own right. According to one legend, his mother made a pilgrimage to an abbey at Silos. Legend says there were many signs of the great child she would bear. One of the most common legends says that during the pilgrimage, Joan had a dream of a dog leaping from her womb with a torch in its mouth. The animal seemed to set the earth on fire. His parents were named him Dominic, a play on the words Domini, Canis, meaning the Lord's dog in Latin. An alternative and possibly more likely story says he was named after Saint Dominic de Silos, a Spanish monk who lived a century before. It is known that Dominic was educated in Palencia and he concentrated on theology and the arts. He spent 6 years studying theology and 4 the arts. He was widely acclaimed as an exemplary student by his professors. When Dominic debated the heretics, they could not defend themselves. Naturally, there is no defense against the truth. Many heretics threatened Dominic with violence. Despite the threats, Dominic traveled throughout the region, preaching and converting many back to Catholic Christian faith and practice. The first is his status as the first inquisitor of the Inquisition. Inquisition was the first to provide many of the rights afforded to accused persons in modern courts. It was very progressive for its time. Dominic recognized the need for a physical institution in southern France to preserve the gains he made against heresy. Dominic established a convent in Puy in 1206, which would become the first Dominican house. In July 1215, Dominic was granted permission to form his own religious order for this purpose. The group followed a rule of life which included a strict routine of discipline, including prayer and penance. After working hard after the bringing orders of several nuns to Rome to restore their discipline, the Pope rewarded Dominic with a new church for his order, the Basilica of Santa Sabina, which remains the headquarters of Dominican order to this day. The tradition that Mary first revealed the Rosary devotion to Saint Dominic is supported by 13 popes. As the Holy Virgin had taught him to do, he distinguished the different kinds of mysteries, and after each short instruction, he had 10 Hail Marys recited.
Here is the weapon that the Blessed Trinity wants to use to reform the world.
The place of the revelation was the Church of Puy, and the time was 1208. The late Dominican Reginald Garrigou Lagrange, who was a teacher of Pope John Paul II when he was a student at the Angelicum in Rome, stated, "Our Blessed Lady made known to Saint Dominic a kind of preaching till then unknown, which she said would be one of the most powerful weapons against future errors and in future difficulties." On 1221, Dominic became ill with a fever. He asked his brothers to keep a spirit of humility and charity. After several weeks of illness, Dominic made his last confession and a will and passed away at the age of 51. Dominic's body was placed on a humble sarcophagus in 1223 and moved to a shrine in 1267. Pope Gregory IX canonized Saint Dominic on 1224, and his feast day is on August 8th. Saint Dominic is the patron saint of astronomers, the Dominican Republic, and the innocent who are falsely accused of crimes. He is often depicted with a dog or lilies and holding a book. In 1191, a famine left many people desolate and homeless across Spain. Dominic sold everything he had, including his furniture and clothes, and bought food for the poor. When he sold his manuscripts, a collection of religious books inscribed on parchment, required for study, he replied, "Would you have me study from these dead skins when people are dying of hunger?" On two other occasions, Dominic attempted to sell himself into slavery to the Moors to obtain the freedom of others.
Saint Dominic is a compassionate saint.
Young Dominic gave away his money, sold his clothes, furnitures, and even his precious manuscripts to feed the hungry.
Dominic reportedly told his astonished fellow students, "Would you have me study off these deadskins when men are dying of hunger?" We can be compassionate as Saint Dominic by donating blood,
Giving food,
and helping people in need.
During his early life, Saint Dominic preached and turned some of the heretic people into Christianity.
There are some people that like Youth for Christ, victory groups that share their life experiences as well as the Word of God. And through that, they are able to enlighten people. Even though we're not part of Youth for Christ or victory groups, we can still help enlighten the mind of the lost and depressed people by preaching the word of the Lord and giving them hope.
Saint Dominic is a selfless saint.
As a student in the year 1184, he sold his books to feed the poor during a time of famine.
He even sold himself to ransom a slave.
We believe that this profession that we are taking today, educating one student at a time, is a selfless act
Because we find ways
to put the needs of others
before our own.